Welcome back, everybody, to the PM Hour. You know what we do here, and it's an important issue that just come up, and we're gonna get right into it. Another current event. And so, my name is Patrick.
I'm Tasha.
I'm Terry.
Oh yes, and I'm Gary. Oh, and it's all about the melanin, my peoples.
Yes, so I just wanted to let you guys know that has been another killing just about a week ago, and it's about Andrew Brown in North Carolina. This happened out here in Elizabeth City. So my whole thing about this matter, you guys, I know it's just kind of stressful because we keep on hearing about this every day, but at the same time, I just don't want you guys to give up. I'm rooting for my black people out there, but this one is just kind of stressful because at the end of the day, even though they was serving this search warrant on this man and an arrest warrant too at the same time, and I understand that he was probably a drug dealer, your neighborhood dope man. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you gonna do what you do to survive out here in the world. And my whole thing is about that too, is that when they say that they was watching him for a year, okay, you got that. But at the same time that you watching somebody for a full year, you still don't have to kill this man at the end of the day. Right. So he was backing up his driveway, not to hit anybody. You could still back out to flee. Okay, go on your chase. But in the midst, he couldn't even get out the driveway before you guys open up rounds on his car. And when you do that, you shoot this man in the back of the head. And I have plenty of stories where you still have white boys, white men, white girls, Mexicans, and all that at the end of the day do the same damn thing, and they ass ain't dead.
Fully armed, too.
When you have us, it's ready to shoot to kill us. But why it's never shoot to kill them? Right. So that's the part that bothers me, and why I'm trying to tell you guys, don't give up. Don't give up on our black people. Don't give up on us as one. Because they said damn sure is not going to give up on killing us. So I just want to see how you guys feel and what's your aspect on this whole situation.
What I have to say about it, you're absolutely right. We can't give up and become so desensitized to where we just say, you know what, I'm just tired of paying attention to it, and I just want to get my mind off of this and not give it anything. Because we can become fatigued. You still hear a lot of talk from white people and other races that they're tired of hearing it. Right. They want to turn away so much. In the media coverage of all of it, they want to hear this another black person shot. They don't. So you hear a lot of them arguments talk about, white people get shot too, and they try to give counter arguments as to why we shouldn't go in on it so hard and every time, But again, however they feel, their sentiments about what's going on, for me, is irrelevant. It's about what we're going through, and we know what we're going through because they're just understanding what we're going through now because of media and social media and everything like that. But black people, we're the first to the party. They're late. We've been talking about this from way back about police brutality. We've been going through this. They're the ones that's late. And so whatever their opinions, they can't justify how we feel about this. It does not matter. So the point is about us and what we have to do. What we must do. But again, too, here's in other videos I've said this too, but one thing we must do, that is our fault, we can't keep doing the same thing. What is it? We're going to march again. We're going to get picket signs and protest. Well, something has to give. We can't wait on law and politicians to change something for us, definitely. We can't wait for these bullshit leaders to finally get up off their ass and really do something or not sell out. So what are we, the people, going to do specifically? And it's not difficult. It's really not difficult. There are solutions that we've been tinkering with, and we know we have to do what we don't do. Look, simply making sure our money circulates changes a lot. It changes a lot. Make sure we stop spending our money with these Asians and Koreans and whites and everything like that. Yeah. If we spend on ours and do black businesses totally and do it and spend our money correctly, that will change a grip. They will change. Not even just us. They will change because we do that. So we have to hunker down and do the things we say we're going to do, not the same old things we've been doing. If we really want to change.
I think that's exactly right.
Because it's like I say, once again, not to say that I'm repeating myself, but all the black killings that's going on. Because when you see all the black people that's just died within the months of the weeks, you already have, like I just said, Andrew. Then you already have Malika. Then you have Daunte Wright. Then you have the 17-year-old boy, Anthony. Then you already have, what's his name? Nazario. Mm-hmm. All these kids have died. Black kids have died in the hands of these officers. All white, Asian, however, and for what? Some bullshit. Because that's exactly what it was, some bullshit.
Yeah. The police
And
not
not just
job.
one shot, not just 2 shots, multiple shots.
Well, Nazaro, like you said, the lieutenant, he was a military man. One thing just to kind of say that is, let's just not be ignorant to the, let's not be oblivious to the obvious is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, because Nazaro, he
Cops
was a shot.
got
I
black.
take that back.
Cops got black codes. You know what I'm saying? They got black codes, particularly how they handle with black people, right? I don't really know if it's like a whole race thing, and I'm not really getting into that because I know specifically that there is such thing as a black code. So whenever there's like a call, it's not like a coincidence that they handle black people in a certain way. You know, there's protocol like that. You know, on certain things out there on the internet, you could actually hear certain dispatchers with cops and how they kind of like will describe certain situations that go on. And in a nutshell, all I want to say is that they just use the N-word. They use the N-word so like profusely through there. It's just like amazing. And if you also think back, because I think we talked about, a little podcast out there you hear, they keep bringing up the O.J. Simpson case, right? Mm-hmm. So that was one of the things that was what the issue was, why it really became a dynamic, why it was like a white-black thing, because cops was one of the things that they used against to try to, well, that's how he was able to kind of get off, they showed the ineptness in cops and how they were to control the scene. But not just that, when they were trying to, when they were getting like the call in and to talk about like that, they had like audio from police, you know, how they would like describe and what these situations. Same thing again. All you hear was just N-word after everything. You know, it was just crazy. So again, like I said, for black people, we can just like, we can't sit here and not and ignore the fact that we have to deal with cops in a different situation when it comes to us. You know, look at the simple fact of how we're just treated, you know what I mean, in like media, right? Mm-hmm. Over disenfranchisement, you know what I mean? The fact that we have this kind of blocking with cops, you can kind of see that it shows like mistreatment from other races kind of come at us now, right? Yeah. But it's like we get that stain before we even get a chance to even really really say or really do anything. You know what I mean?
It's like already dehumanized in their head
before they confront
the black people.
I mean, and then absolute justice. And then you think about some of these cases. How is it that certain things? First of all, let's just I'm going to say it all out here. One cop. How do you mistaken where you live and go into another person's apartment? How does that happen? Yeah. As a cop, how you as a cop? It doesn't matter if you're working for 40 hours or however. Yeah. How do you walk into a wrong person's apartment and end up murdering this person? Yeah. Another thing. How do you end up grabbing your gun instead of a taser? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, like you said, we could just keep going back all about training and hitting it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the idea is this is a point that needs to be repeated. Mm-hmm. There has to be something that has to change. And it's not just more with just a reform, like my brother was saying, but we as our people, of our African communities, because we all Africans, man. We got to go ahead and understand where we all come from. This is happening not just here, but you guys have to understand the dynamic. Cops in other countries treat us the same way too. It's not just happening in the 50 states. In London, it happens the same way. Brother get all hemmed up. Brother just getting hemmed up. You can see the stories that's out there. So the police treat us. There are certain black codes. Not even just say certain. There are black codes when it comes to police officers in any country you come in. I'll go ahead and say it. Any country. And that probably includes Africa. Because who's running the police force? Who's running the police force in Africa? So let's just not be, again, let's not be oblivious to the obvious, okay? We have to know that law enforcement already would know how to deal with African people no matter where they at and where they are. And they know how to do that in a very most sufficient way. Sorry about that. Yeah. And I don't mean to negate the deaths out there because that's one love to my peoples. It's not to make light of the situation, but, you know, they definitely, you know, it's an agenda. It's definitely an agenda, man. If you could look at this person.
It is an agenda. Yeah, and one thing, just to piggyback off of what you were saying and kind of what we've all been saying.
Sure enough.
And something I feel like I repeat every time we talk about these stories, but the system is doing exactly what it was meant to do. Yeah. What it was meant to do. That's why you can have all these killings, you know, week after week. Mm-hmm. We had like 3 in 1 week. That's why you can have the same discrimination that you have in America. You have that same discrimination in Europe.
You know, in Africa.
You have that same discrimination in Africa. You can have, and sometimes it doesn't even matter. You know, if the person that killed the unarmed or sometimes armed black person, they could also be black.
Right.
So that's irrelevant. the system is doing what it's supposed to do. Like, we're already demonized. And so by the time you are having an interaction with a black person, it's already second nature for you to go, okay, I need to kill right here. Kind of like how if an animal is attacking you, you don't think to, obviously you kill the animal.
Right away, right? You don't even think
it's
twice.
One of those things you don't really, your humanity doesn't, get triggered because you're thinking, well, I'm at a higher, what do you call it? Per society standards, I'm higher than you are, so it's okay if you die. Right. And then the other point I was gonna make, where I feel like that also plays into this, is you got I think you said earlier, sis, that they always like to bring up, whites get killed at the same rate. Okay, but that's not what you keep showing on the news, though, because you are in control of that. So that's not what do we hear all the time? It's always like I said, 3 in 1 week. You'll hear about the black person that killed. Like, they're trying to show you your place, right? And they're trying to control you in some kind of way, and make you terrified to even go outside. And then when you do go outside, you come across you're not even human. You see, so, and that could go on in any country.
And they list our falls, because now people talk about how 24 people just got shot this past week in Chicago.
Oh, man.
Fuck this, I got to do with Brown getting shot.
Man.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, yeah, right. But that's the trick of the media.
Yeah.
And
so what, kind of like I said, what you were saying earlier, we always got to come back to that. And, what you were saying too, we got to do something else, because the system is doing what it's supposed to do. That is already working. So we have to have our own system. And you got to look at what you have. You don't have, the weapons. You don't have the people. You don't really have a coalition with another group. So what do? You band together. And how do you band together? What do you have? Your spending power, right? And so that's where you kind of have to look at it and go, okay, what is the different thing that we got? I mean, I feel like that's a great idea. You know what you're saying, and knowing that you're going up against a system that you cannot beat with protests. We've been protesting since the 60s and beyond that. Where has protest gotten you? We gotta stop doing the protests. Moving your money, that's protesting.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. That's
the protest we need to do.
100.
But it's one of those things where that's how we're also controlled, where we don't see that. We don't see that's all we gotta do. We're enticed, I guess, by their wealth.
Well, part of the system,
so that distracts
part of the system
us.
is invoking a consumerist mentality, everybody. Because America, a capitalist system, promotes everybody, all races, to be consumers. However, it's more detrimental for black people to be a part of that consumerist mentality, seeing where we coming from. So we can't buy like white people buy. They can afford it. We can't buy like Asians buy. They can afford it.
They have that kind of wealth. And their owners, too.
Exactly. We have no ownership. And actually, we have no central money-generating thing for ourselves. But I'm going to make this last one point. And it's something that, anybody said, y'all can miss me with this. When you see cases like Ma'Khia Bryant in Hawaii, Colombia, and some people say, oh, well, she had a knife. You had Daunte Wright, from Minneapolis. Oh, he shouldn't have jumped back in the car. I don't want to hear no shit about what they could have done or what the wrong move they made. Look, watch for yourself. These cops, they have a job. They're supposed to be trained. So they come into a situation, they got to assess it. And don't tell me that you're talking about police reform if there's nothing wrong with how they conduct themselves on their job and de-escalating situations. They're coming into a situation, of course. So Ma'Khia Bryant had a knife. Yeah, what was the cop supposed to do? Homeboy jumped back in his car. Yeah, that was the wrong move. That's right. He shouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have done that. But what does that got to do with the cop coming here and pulling her taser, so-called taser, but had a gun and killing the man? That's wrong.
Yeah.
Don't justify what they're doing because this person made a wrong move. If they did, like another one we did, Applewhite did the cop did the right thing, shooting him.
Charles. His name Charles?
We did an episode on, what I'm saying?
Yes.
Applewhite did the cop did the right thing there. Did anybody, black community complain? No, if it's wrong, it's wrong. We see that. Exactly. We're not stupid. When we see that black man did something wrong. Yeah, the cop should have did that.
I want to jump back onto that one, even though I'm going to wrap this up when I make this comment. But because at the end of the day, everybody's just bashing Ma'Khia. Because at the end of the day, nobody's still looking at that full-fledged story. Nobody's looking at the fact that they went to her house. Nobody's looking at the fact that you have grown woman fighting a 16-year-old. Everybody's over 21 years old. coming to this 16-year-old house.
I didn't know that point either.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even though her parents was there, except for her mother, she was at work. Okay, but she still had another adult there for her. So when you have people keep on coming at you, mind you, they came to her house. So therefore, she still had to defend herself against adults.
And now, they went up into her house?
Yeah, they also ran up into her house and got some stuff and did whatever they tried to do in this girl's house. Mind you, I'm going back to me as a parent. I have kids. Now, if you got some grown-ass woman coming from my kids, okay, I'm gonna tell my kids, you do what you gotta do by all means to defend yourself before the motherfucking police get there. Mind you, we in Ohio. You not finna have nobody come to your shit, especially that's over 21.
No, that's 100.
Fighting a 16-year-old.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a black community that know that. So that's what I'm saying. You're
And
right.
that's
why
did.
she had the night. That's why she did what she
But
did.
she still did what she did. But like I said, even though it was still a bad choice and it still put me off to if it was another race and they were still in that same situation, even though he kind of like he said, oh, quick to react or whatever, and he shot, back to another race, that still never been your first thing.
Right.
It probably would have been a leg or arm, however, but you still would have took that person to jail so they could have fought the charges. Yeah. When it comes to us, it's already shoot to kill.
Timmy and Rice shot him within a couple of seconds of pulling up.
And we're not looking at that. We're not looking at that.
Yeah,
and they already know. Go ahead, just kill them motherfuckers. Because guess what? All we're gonna do is protest and protest and protest. Yeah. They already hip to our game.
Yeah, they know we have no power to do anything like that as well. You know what I'm saying?
So that's all I'm saying, because they know that's all we're gonna do is protest. Okay, give them their fucking protest. They'll die it down in a month. They'll die down in 2 months. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And we have to look at this, people.
Oh, they might throw you a bone. They'll give you one cop.
So
you know,
that's
they might give you some. Right.
Give the family a settlement.
You know,
give the family a couple million.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get something out of the what they say out of the fund, out of the cop fund. But you know, they don't go for the pocket.
All I'm saying is, you guys, you just have to be awake. You guys just have to be more aware of the situation and just be prepared for what's going on out here. Because if we want to change, we have to make a change.
Yeah. With ourselves, yes, in our community.
We gotta
That's
do
right, man. Please subscribe and comment, man.
What you have.
Hear all
you talking
comments.
about you don't like the property, but you want to keep them staying in the property. Yeah. You ain't gonna get nowhere. Yeah. But you know what? Please like us, subscribe. Please follow us on every aspect of what we have.
We all there.
Okay.
One love.
We got it.
Yeah.